If you're thinking about moving to Lake Oswego and you're in the research phase, then this video is going to be perfect for you. You're going to want to watch the very end because we're going to cover what are the reasons people are moving right here to Lake Oswego and what attracts them, what makes them stay, what makes them move away after they live here as kids, go to high school, and then come back to raise their families. We're going to get into all of that and our personal experience. Plus, of course, we're going to talk about the housing market that's going on right now in 2023 in Lake Oswego. Let's go. Hey everybody, my name is Cullen and this is my wife Brianna Cullen, and we run a real estate company right here in Lake Oswego. If you guys are looking to move here, then this video is for you. We make these for you guys to learn more about what it's like living here. Now, we live in Lake Oswego ourselves, and today we're going to explore why people choose to live here and what really attracts them to this area.
Yeah, this is all about quality of life here in Lake Oswego. I think many people who learn about Lake Oswego are very drawn to it and then find that it can actually be quite expensive to live here. I think especially if you're coming from California, you tend to think that everywhere else in the country is going to be a lot more affordable. And it is more affordable here and it does give higher value, but a lot of the housing here is still pretty expensive, and you can get into that, honey. But I think that all comes down to quality of life and what you're getting for your money. As we were talking about this video and quality of life, and Aaron was asking me some questions about why I wanted to talk about this. And I think, I've lived in the city in San Francisco, in Los Angeles, in like the high density urban areas. And I love that. I love that city feeling of walkability and coffee shops and the buzz of a city. But ever since we lived in Lake Oswego, whenever we get back into as soon as we drive over the city limits into Lake Oswego, whether we're in Portland doing something or we're away for a weekend at the beach or something like that, we pull back into town and there's just this visceral feeling. It's like this happy,
the sense of calm.
Yeah.
When you just come in to the tree-lined streets, just everything about the sense of the community, the way that the city takes care of the streets, the plants, the sidewalks, the maintenance, it all just definitely is different. And it's way more, I think it's a lot less congested as well. And things are just spread out a little bit more. And I think all that kind of adds to this real sense of kind of vacation. Everything's not overbuilt. There's not a bunch of billboards and things like that.
Yeah, there's like a tranquility to it. And I know there's been a lot of research lately that the green space around us really influences our well-being. And Lake Oswego is so green. There are ordinances around, how many trees you can cut down. They're really about preservation of nature and the tree cover. And all of that greenery apparently lets off different, I don't know, I'm not a biologist, but different gases and different things that we as humans evolved to need. So I think there's actually a biological thing that we're getting from being in nature here, being around all these trees. It definitely gives us such a sense of calm.
Yeah, and speaking of trees, we're right here in Millennium Plaza, and this is the main town center park. Let me just kind of spin you around so you can get a little sense here. And whoa, look at the size of some of these trees right up here, these evergreens. These are Douglas firs right behind us. And one of the other cool things that the city does is they do this rotating art. Every few months, they'll change out these art pieces around town, and sometimes if the residents really they'll keep certain pieces permanently, but then they do rotate a lot of the pieces around, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, and our kids recognize them. There's one up the street here that's a flower with a bee, and our son always says, I see the bumblebee. So our kids appreciate the sculpture and the art, and it's very interactive. They climb on some of them. It's very casual. This also, Millennial Park Plaza, where we're filming, is where the summer farmers markets are. So last Saturday was the first farmers market of the season, and that's a huge part of our quality of life is coming down here on Saturday mornings in the summer, and it's busy. They have a band, different rotating bands, and breakfast food, and then obviously all the stalls for the farmers market, and it's right here in downtown, so it is a huge gathering place. We almost always run into people that we know down here, which is one of my favorite things.
I love coming to the farmers market. I mean, not just for the kids. I mean, the kids love it too. So, hey, if the kids are happy, I'm happy usually. But it is great just running into people. And the longer we've been here for 4 years now, the longer we live here and just get plugged into the community and do different community events, you just meet more people, it just kind of snowballs. And that's one of the awesome things about living here. It really does have that small town community feel. And going to one of the local events like the farmers market in the summer is just one of those kind of glue, sticky events that you can get to know the vendors, strike up conversations, and run into people that you know. And if you have kids, they start going to drawing lessons or ballet or soccer practice, then all those things kind of come together. You end up running into those people.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've run into people down here at the farmers market that know you from this YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's right. Especially more in the summer when it gets a little bit more higher volume for
Travelers
tour season and travelers. Yeah, I'll run into people that kind of flag me down and say, hey, I watch your YouTube, hey, da-da-da, and introduce themselves, and that's great. I love that. So if you guys are coming in town this summer, you'll probably see me at the farmers market. Look out for me. And hey, come say hi.
But what you mentioned about the community and running into people is a huge part of the quality of life here. And I think it has to do with Lake Oswego being its own small town.
Yeah.
And it's not just like part of the urban sprawl of Portland or a commuter suburb. This is a place where people live and work and raise their families and do their daily life.
Yeah.
And I think that, I don't know, for me, it has the right mix of all those small town qualities where you get to know people, you really know your community, you spend a lot of time here. But there are certain small towns that are a little too sleepy for me, or that like don't have enough opportunity, I think, enough options, that for me personally can feel like a little flat or a little depressing. Whereas this is a small town that's like very vibrant, very energized, it has a lot of opportunity, it has a lot to do. So it's really that like best of both worlds.
It really is, and I think part of that is because its location. I'll throw up the map here. I mean, we're only 9 miles from downtown Portland, and being so close, it's like 15, 20 minutes, depending on where you are in Lake Oswego. It's so close to downtown Portland. It still feels like you're a part of the city. Even though we're our own town, we're still part of Portland. You know, we're still in the metro of Portland.
We still have like a great airport, great medical care, universities, all of that city stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So you definitely feel that closeness, that you're a part of Portland, but also you get this small town feel, and you're also part of this other thing called Lake Oswego. And because it's its own city, we have our own cops, our own firefighters, our own EMT, we have our own everything, our own mayor, we have our own school district. Because of all those things, we have a lot more say in the community, and that kind of adds to that stickiness quality.
Yeah. And then it's funny because you're talking about the city, but at the same time, the way Lake Oswego is situated, it is on the outskirts. And so south of us is a lot of like rolling farmland and vineyards and wide open sky and farms. We're actually next week going on a date night to a dinner at a small farm that has a farm to table kitchen. I've been wanting to go out to dinner there for 4 years.
Really looking forward to this.
And they're doing like a wine pairing and a dinner. They partner with local wineries to do that. And I think that there's something really special about also being on the outside of town where you can have some more of those rural experiences too. Like we really get both here.
Wait, do we have babysitting set up for that?
Yes.
Good.
The royal we set it up.
Good job.
Back here behind us near the lake is also a local movie theater, the Lake Theater Cafe.
Yep, you can see that right there with the white
umbrellas.
With the white umbrellas.
And that's like a great little place to eat with a view of the lake. And they actually have, for a movie theater, they have really good food and drinks. And over the holidays, we had some friends over to our house, and they were telling us they were planning a birthday party for their daughter who's friends with our little girl. She's turning 6. And they thinking about having it at a movie theater over in Bridgeport, like a corporate movie theater. And Aaron said, hey, you guys should call the Lake Theater because I bet they would do something special for you. And so they did. And it was so sweet. They ended up having her birthday party at the movie theater. And because it's like a local indie movie theater, they were totally willing to show whatever movie they wanted. And the kids had such a good time because they could pause the movie, bring in the cake, have like pizza and treats, and the kids had the whole theater to themselves. It just really, to me, like epitomized that local small town feeling.
Yeah. And when you don't have to travel far for those events and your town has those, I mean, how far is that from our house? 5 minutes?
Yeah.
5 minutes from our house and you can go to those birthday events. That's what the great thing is about this town. Nothing's more than 11 minutes to get to around this town. And they have everything. Because unlike a lot of other small towns, we have residential and we have a lot of commercial venues as well. So we have all the supermarkets, we have the ballet, we have the music classes, we have the martial arts, we have whatever it is that you want to do or things your kids want to learn or get into, or even commercial buildings that people work in. All those things are here, and we do have some hotels right over by the 5, just on the west side of Lake Oswego.
Yeah, when we lived in LA and I was doing things like going to a mommy and me class, or we were going to like childbirth classes and things like that, it was always like such a haul to get to anything that we wanted to get to, because within your own town, within your own like neighborhood or community, it only had so much of what you needed, plus the traffic to get to those things. And I think that's a huge part of the quality of life, is having everything you need right here. I think having small kids and working, I work full time, we both work, but we're still able to be really involved with our kids, pick them up, drop them off, take them to art class after school or ballet, organize their summer camps in the summer, and have a lot of flexibility because everything is like 10 minutes away. And I think for a lot of people who work from home now, we're really able to like do both, like be very involved parents and working. And I think for me, especially because Aaron is such an involved dad, we really share that care. And so we both can like pick up the kids, take them to the park after school, be very involved.
That's right. Go team. Blow it up. And I just want to take this opportunity to also talk about the housing right here in Lake Oswego. And I am a local real estate agent, so if you guys have any questions, pause this video. I'm going to throw up my number. Go ahead and reach out. This is what I do. Any questions you guys have, just go ahead and shoot me a text or give me a call. Happy to answer any of those questions you guys have. And if you're coming to town this summer, definitely reach out and let's go look at some houses. Even if you're not quite ready yet, it's great to be able to check out some different neighborhoods, get a feel from inside those homes. I highly, highly recommend it, because then when you go back home, you'll be able to think about the different elements and things that are kind of hard to see in pictures or put into words when you go down a neighborhood street. And those things are really important here in Lake Oswego, because all the neighborhoods are really different and kind of can give you a different lifestyle. Some are more flat, some are more hilly with views. Some have lake access, some do not have lake access, and some have big grassy yards, and some have no grassy yards, but are very low maintenance and are all terraced and landscaped. So whatever you need, this city definitely can meet your needs, but you gotta reach out and talk to me. I can suggest different neighborhoods based on what kind of lifestyle, where are you at in the stage of life? Do you have little kids? Do you have older kids? Do you have no kids? Are you retired? All those different things really matter, and you can set yourself up to be in the right place right here in Lake Oswego.
I mean, speaking of being retired, I think the quality of life for retirees in Lake Oswego is really high. It's a lot of young families come here because of the great schools and the great family-friendly atmosphere, but then people stay for the rest of their lives. We're in this plaza here, and over at St. Honore at the bakery, I can see a number of tables of retirees having their coffee on this Wednesday morning. The community, the city of Lake Oswego, has an amazing adult community center with all kinds of events, author talks, classes, different things that get that part of our community together. And I think this is an amazing place to retire, to like go through every phase of life.
Yeah.
So I think for a lot of people over the last few years, as prices have gone up, I've had even friends say, I feel like it's the top of the market. We're gonna wait.
Yeah.
We're gonna wait it out.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, I feel like in Lake Oswego, there's nowhere for it to grow. And people now, because people can work remote from other cities, a lot of people are moving here. And it just doesn't seem like the prices are going to come down when it's not like we can expand into other areas. So I had friends that said that a couple of years ago and then essentially got priced out of Lake Oswego.
Yeah.
How do you help clients when they ask that question, or they say we're gonna wait, we think the market's gonna come down?
Yeah, the market's definitely not gonna come down. And if it does, it's gonna be very minimal. In the future, no one can predict the future, but what I can tell you is what's going on in the market right now. And that is, if you check out some of my other videos on the market update, I do those once a month, and you can really, where I dive deep, and you can see that right now we're in an uptick. This winter, the prices went down, and now we're going back up in prices. And part of that is a little bit cyclical. Every year, in the winter, the prices naturally kind of go down, less people are looking to buy, and then the prices start to shoot back up.
And when they went down, it was really partly that there was more inventory, and so people had more choices for a bit of time, but the prices coming down is very relative. It wasn't like you were getting an amazingly different deal than you would have gotten 6 months before that. This was a gentle adjustment.
Prices in general are up a few percent from where we were last year. So that is really slowed down because the previous 2 years, they had jumped up 15 to 20% year over year in Portland in general over the previous 2 years. Well, last year, from where we are now, it's only gone up a few percent in general all around Portland. And one of the great things about buying in Lake Oswego is they're not making any more land here in Lake Oswego. The borders are defined. Most of the properties have been developed, the empty lots. So now most of it is what we call infill lots, where you have to tear down a home to build a new home. Or you do renovation to fix up, a major renovation to fix up homes. And there's a lot of boutique companies, builders, and developers that are doing that right here in Lake Oswego. So depending on your budget, if you're looking in the $1 million range and up, you'll definitely be able to find something that you like and probably will meet your expectations. Now, there are homes under $1 million, but a lot of those are going to be smaller ranch type style homes, or they're going to be, pretty cosmetic update projects.
I think the housing in Lake Oswego in general, just to be aware of it, there's such a wide variety. It's not master planned subdivisions where a lot of the homes are the same.
Yep.
All of the homes look very different, and many of them really reflect the time period that they were built. And I think once you start looking, you have to be, if you see the home that you like, you have to be ready to move on it, because things shift so quickly. And that particular type of home, it might be the only one of a kind, or only very few like it. And so it's not, I think there are a lot of cities and areas where a lot of the housing stock is very similar. And, if you don't get this house, you get another one just like it down the street. That's just not the case here.
That's right. Yeah, if you see a house that you like, you've got to act on it, and you got to be fast. So I always advise my clients, you want to get pre-approved. Once you're serious and in that zone of hey, if I find that right house, would I offer on it? Would I be ready to buy it? So you need to be ready, you need to be pre-qualified. My clients that work with me, I have set up a great system for if you're out of state, where I'll go view the home virtually, and we can do it live right there through FaceTime or Zoom. And then based on that information, if you feel comfortable, we can make an offer, lock up the house, and then you can fly out here and check it out during inspections. That's something that I highly recommend. It's a great way for people to be able to secure a home if they don't live here. But again, I highly recommend come out and visit first if you've never been to Lake Oswego.
And come out now at this time of year.
Yeah, come out now. Beautiful out right now. It's not too hot in the heat of the summer, although we're having a little heat wave right now. It's unusually warm, but hey, I'll take it.
But look,
because we did
it's
have
so
a colder.
gorgeous right now. Everything's blooming. Everything smells so fresh.
Yeah.
Definitely come between May and September, October.
And there's a lot of cool projects happening in Lake Oswego. commercial projects and residential projects as well. There's a lot of money coming into the community right now. There's a lot of luxury homes coming to the market right now by builders. And there's a new small development of homes called the Oswego Reserve. Those homes start about $3.5 million and go up from there. And those are all going to be custom builds. And they're actually going to be in talks to be the Street of Dreams in 2024 right here in Lake Oswego, which is a really fun event. So if you're interested in building a custom home, definitely reach out to me. I'm going to be highlighting that project in another video. These townhomes that we're passing by right here, these are actually really cool. Mind the blower here in the background. But these are 3-story homes. They're priced in around $1 million, give or take, depending on which one it is, which unit, and what updates they've had. But they're really cool. Some of them have elevators, you know, they're 3 stories tall.
And it's just all about the walkability. Like this, you could not beat this location in town.
I mean, you're half a block right here from all the main streets. You're just right here. It's 100% walkability. That's one of the awesome things about buying one of these townhomes.
You can walk to the market, you can walk to the library, all the coffee shops and restaurants, the farmer's market, the lake. This is just such a great location.
Right, and none of those have yards, but they do have balconies. And I'll tell you what, you don't really need a yard because right here is Millennium Plaza. You know, all the grass and the park right here across the street.
One of the things I'm looking forward to this summer is we joined our local neighborhood swimming pool, and a lot of the neighborhoods in Lake Oswego have a pool. Some of the homes have pools as well. We do not, and so I'm excited to get out on those.
We do have a kiddie pool with a slide built into it. I made sure to get that model. Maybe the kids are still too young because they don't seem to enjoy that slide, or maybe it's the water's just too cold and it doesn't heat up. By the time it heats up, they just kind of lose interest in it. I don't know.
Jason said he's going to give us their old pool. Did he tell you that? Because they got like a really crazy, our friends got like one of those really crazy big blow up pools, and they said they're going to gift us their
Isn't that what we have?
one.
That was too much of a pain to blow up?
No. There's, didn't you show me a photo of it? It's like giant.
Well, that's a bounce thing, slide.
That's a pool, I think.
No. Living in Lake Oswego truly is an amazing experience and a great place to live.
Yeah, from everything we've talked about, the small town feel, the community involvement, the aesthetic beauty, and just all the options and opportunities you have, the easy daily life. I think there's a reason why people stay here for many years or end up coming back as adults to raise their own kids.
So if you guys have any questions and want to learn more about Lake Oswego, go ahead and reach out. My information's right down there. There's my number. I'd love to talk to you guys. And until next time, I will see you.